Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about money. I have here with me my friend Z. He also lives in Bucharest. He's making a lot of money online. And Z, talk a little bit about yourself. How did you start making money? And like first of all, how much money do you make per month so people can
Yeah.
understand more?
I mean, the business I'm an advertiser, so I sell things online, whatever it is, e-commerce, info products. I started selling ebooks very much, but so it's very up and down. This is like a crazy high and low business, it's online marketing, ads, all this. But this year I just got a message from my account manager, who manages my payments and all this. We just crossed 10 million, and I think I will do 12 million. Of course,
Like
this
revenue?
is yeah, this is gross.
Yeah.
So I won't talk too much about profit, but profit is very good. It's very good. Class
So
standard business.
yeah, so basically this year you became a millionaire or you were making like
Pretty much. I mean, I became a millionaire. I made my first million around 23. I'm 24 now.
yeah.
So,
So what was the first thing you did to start making money online? So when did you start? Like what
Yeah.
age?
Man, you want the long time ago when I was a kid, or you
Yeah,
want
like because maybe people don't understand that if you want to make like 10 million, 12 million a year, you probably start with some small bullshit online. You
Pretty
cannot
much.
start like
Yeah. So when I was 15, actually, I used to game a lot. Counter Strike.
yeah.
So it's a shooter game where people, it's terrorists versus counter-terrorists, and basically on the game you had something called skins. It's
Yeah.
like accessories,
Yeah,
like
no.
to
You
make
were selling
like,
skins?
exactly. I was selling skins because back then, 2015, 2016, there was like a huge gambling scene on Counter-Strike,
Yeah.
and that was what made it worth a lot of money. Like there were famous people, there were even Neymar, he was spending a lot of money
Yeah?
on skins, all
Crazy,
this,
yeah.
yeah. He has like a 500K in skins or something. But anyway, so I was selling this, and I think in 6 months I was just trading, selling. I made like 3K. This was the first time I ever made money online, and from there, I was
And
was
like,
addicted.
what was the first business that, let's say, got you some constant cash flow that you can say like, yeah, I can like, because we talked before and like, you can tell the audience, you were like basically living with your mom, you didn't have money growing up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when was the first, like, what was the first business that generated some cash flow that you can say like, yeah, now I can get my own apartment,
Yeah.
stuff like this?
I mean, the first business, it was like very close after I did the Counter Strike thing. So it stopped working. I just cashed out. I cashed out 3K. But I mean, I don't want to go too much into like the sob story and all this shit. But I had a bad relationship with my parents. I knew at one point that they wouldn't like support me anymore, and I needed to make money. So I was looking on YouTube like how to make money online and all this. I was like 16. I saw some videos about dropshipping, and that's pretty much what I did. So I started a dropshipping store for like a boys band, like music,
Okay,
K-pop,
yeah.
and I was selling like merch for them. So I was designing T-shirts and all this, and I was selling. It still wasn't so much money. I think I made like 15K again, like in 6 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, 6K was profit, but that was like the first online business besides the
Well, you,
Counter-Strike
you were
stuff.
saying this with like the relationship with parents,
Yeah.
and they actually talk about this a lot in like on Twitter. It's like I think like parents don't trust you and doubt you until you have some results, and this what was my situation because my parents were like saying, yeah, you should become a lawyer, you should go to university, all this stuff, and they had the bad opinion about what I was doing about this online stuff until I had the results. And I feel like when you have results, they do stop caring and they
Of course,
support you.
yeah, of course. If you start getting results, you're the man, right?
Yeah.
Before that, they still see, you're a kid, you don't know what you're doing. Also, it was like 2015, 2016. There was nothing, nobody was popping off
Yeah.
online. This was very, very early. Now it's like it's a trend.
It's more
Yeah.
normalized than even like
Everyone's making money online now, So
Yeah.
now it's normalized if you tell.
So
parents.
where did you live? Like you live in Belgium, right?
Yeah, I lived in Brussels. I grew up in Brussels.
Yeah. So what was your like? What's your advice on this? Like, why did you move from Brussels? Like, you think it's important? Like the West? I don't know. Talk about
Yeah.
this.
Man, I read some of your tweets and you were saying like you know, you shouldn't travel this and that. I disagree in a slight way, because I think if you live in a shit place with like you don't have the right friends around you.
Yeah.
Man, everyone around me was like naysayers, very negative. Oh, you have to go
Yeah.
to school, university. You cannot do nothing without a degree. I hated this talk, so I wanted to leave. So I left. I was like, I need a new environment, fresh environment
And
to
how did you approach
be
this
around.
traveling stuff? Like, where did you travel? Who you met? How did you know the people in those cities? How did you approach this traveling
Yeah.
thing?
So it's a long story, but I'll keep it short because I found out about something where you could start a business online. This was Estonia, and I would say after 18, after I didn't do any business after I was 16. So I made the money. I made 6K from the drop shipping. I made 3K from the. So it was just cruising, chilling. Then when I was 18, I got a job because my parents kicked me out. Blah blah blah. All this shit. After I left my job, I started traveling around. I didn't really know where to go, but at one point, I said, fuck it, you know, I really need to step up, you know, it's enough travel, but I need to lock in. And the best place I found back then, because I was doing some freelancing, some small work here and there, it was Estonia.
How come Estonia didn't meet anybody else from this online space? Let's choose Estonia. Usually people go Dubai.
I know. Back then Dubai wasn't that
cool.
popular. It wasn't that popular, I think. But I heard about Estonia because it was like easy to start a business.
In terms of like legally.
Yeah, exactly. Low taxes, bro. Belgium is like 55%. So it was gonna kill me. So yeah, I was in Milan back then, and COVID was hitting. I was like, fucking, I'm not gonna stay in Milan. Also, it was expensive for me. But then I heard about Estonia, so I said, okay, I signed in online. I started the business. I could start invoicing clients, and I heard like, oh, there's a lot of startups there, tech clients with money. So I thought, okay, if I go there, if I meet the right people, the right locations, go work in the right co-working spaces, I would get clients, and so this is what happened.
So you went to Estonia and like you search online about this co-working space.
Exactly,
and
it's
it
exactly
actually
what
works
I did.
for meeting people.
Yeah.
How did you approach? Like I don't know,
bro.
Give me an example.
Yeah, so I will tell you. When I was 18, I knew I was a nerd in my room. You know, I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to do business, shake people's hands. So I knew I had to get a sales job. You know, I was watching these videos on YouTube. You have to get, be good in sales. I was watching like Wolf of Wall Street, all this shit. So it's like, okay, I want to do sales. So I got a sales job for 8 months, 9 months. So I learned how to do business, how to cold call, all this, exactly. So I knew if I could get in the right place, I would make money. And then I saw some locations in Estonia, some co-working spaces, where all these startups come, where they get a lot of funding from capitals, this, that, VCs. So this is where I went. I took my bag. I had, like, I think, man, $500 in my bank account and a backpack. And I went there. I stayed in like a shitty hostel. I spent my money to go in this co-working space, and I just started talking to people.
Just random people there, you started talking to them?
Yeah, man, it's like here, you and me. You know, I come there with a laptop, some guy is sitting next to me. I just say, yo, what are you doing? You know, I'm an online marketer, I do this, that. Bullshit, I can make your website, all this,
but what I think is important for people to understand is that even if you meet a rich person, you need some basic skills in order for you to be useful. So how did you make yourself useful for these guys with money that you can work with? You said like making websites. Like what was your skill set when you were 18? What could you do for people?
I will be honest, man. I had the confidence, but I didn't have the skills. This is something that I learned in the sales job. Really how to sell. So my mentality was always to get the money first, and then I figure it out after. So this is what they teach you in sales, right? You check what they need, etc. You ask the right questions, you build a relationship, you build a rapport. And I knew if I get the money, I would figure it out. And I did figure it out. I got people results. So, and if I didn't, I would give them back the money. It's no problem for me. So yeah, I think it's more important to learn the skill of how to sell than actually the video editing, coding, development, because the most important part in business is to get the money. You get the money, everything else will solve itself. Because even if you get the money, you don't know how to build a website, you can hire someone to do it for you.
Yeah, it's true. Like I had this friend who's making money doing funnels for people, and basically what he was doing is was taking the money and like he was hiring some Nigerians to do it, and he just like edited stuff afterwards. But basically he was like in the middle.
Exactly.
I think Tate talks about this. Like you have to be in the middle of a transaction, even though you don't know how to do something. You have to be the guy who says like, yeah, I will do it, and then you find a way and you deliver the results, and then those people say like, yeah, this guy is good.
And I think that's the most important part. As long as you know how to sell,
Yeah.
as long as you know how to get the money, you will always make money. It doesn't
So,
matter what
Would
scenario.
you give somebody who's broke right now this advice that you have to start with the sales job?
100%. Bro, you know, I give this advice all the time to broke people, and they always ask me, oh, bro, I saw this guy on YouTube. He's making money drop shipping, he's making money trading. I said, okay, you know, you can do it if you want. How much money do you have to invest?
Yeah.
Do you have 5K? No, I don't have 5. You don't have 5K, don't bother, get the job, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's not a sales job, go do Uber or something.
Yeah,
you need
bro.
money to make money.
I totally agree
Yeah.
with this because I was talking a few days ago with somebody and he was asking me about Rich Gang, my community, and I asked him like, what do you do right now? How much money you make? And he was asking me questions about Rich Gang, about money, making money, and he said like, I'm making no money, I live with my parents, blah blah. And then I told him like, bro, the first step is getting a job. Why
Exactly.
you think people think nowadays they're too clever for a job?
Yeah, they're
You
too
cannot
arrogant, man. They're
You
too
cannot
arrogant.
be clever with zero money.
Exactly.
This is the thing.
And that's the thing. And in my opinion, the best job to get is a sales job. Because for me, when I came into the sales job, I had no degree, all this. And in Belgium, if you have no degree, you're like a piece of shit, you know, you're like whatever. But in the sales job, there were people making 10K per month. For me, this was like crazy shit
Dream,
like that.
yeah.
They were wearing Rolexes,
Yeah.
the suits, all this, like super suave, super chill.
Yeah.
I thought, man, they're fucking hustlers, you know, they're
Yeah.
G's. So I wanted to be like them. And I think in sales, you have that pay on performance. You know, you get paid on
Commission, yeah.
exactly commission. So it's not like, you know, if you're a doctor, you need to study 7 years to make 7K, 10K per month. No, if you're good, in the first 3 months, you can be already making 10K per month in a sales job.
If you find a sales job that like basically you need to sell something expensive to get like a big.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you can sell
So
bullshit.
it's the best way, because also if you have the skill, you know, no matter what happens, if you make a big risk like on a business, you know, you save up 20K with the job, you put the 20K, you invest it in some store or whatever, you blow it up, you blow your account, you can always get money again by picking up the phone.
So yeah, but
you know?
for example, I know people who have sales job and they sit in that position. So how did you transition from like having the sales job, not having other businesses, to having your first like big business?
Yeah.
Or what was the first thing you started making money that you could afford? Like you felt like, when do you feel rich for the first time? Let's say.
Man, it took a while, to be honest. Like rich first time.
To feel like that first high, like bro, I have
Okay,
results.
I'll answer your first question. Is like, how did I transition from the sales
Yeah.
job to actually making my own money? For me, the job, it was always a stepping stone. You know, even what I'm doing now, it's a stepping stone. I think I want to see how far I can go in life. You know, because I'll be honest, my family, they're all peasants, like literally from China. My grandfather or grandmother, they have farm, they're rice farmers. So already, you know, I'm the richest guy ever. I broke the poverty chain in my family, right? So for me, this is all bonus. So I just want to see how far I can go. But it was always a stepping stone. I knew I wanted to get the skill to sell. And afterwards, I want to do my own thing, because even it's good you get commission, right? You make 10K for yourself, but that means you make the company 100K.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
So I wanted that 100K for myself. So it took like 9 months to get promoted. And then I had this friend, he called me, man, we should start an agency together, like some business. He was watching some videos on YouTube about SMA and all this shit. And he was living in the UK. He was like, come to UK, we start a business together, all this, blah, 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 blah. So after my promotion, I thought about it. He was not doing so well. I thought, okay, we can start a business together. I quit my job. I went to the UK, and that's when I started my business. It didn't work out, but it's another story. But this is how I first started. After that, when it didn't work out, I just did what I knew how to do. I picked up the phone, I called some people. I made 1.5K first client, another 1.5K. I made 3K in my first month doing some random stuff. And that's when it started, like up and down with freelancing. The most I ever made freelancing was in Estonia, like 2 months in. Same thing with the co-working stuff. I made like 15 G's. That's when I felt like wow, I made it, you know.
And like, what was the first like the business when I don't know, when you first made like 50K per month, 100K per month? What was the breakthrough moment when you said like it's different level money, not 10K?
Well, different level money was when I started again. It was like the next step in the ladder, you know. And always in the ladder you have the next step. I think it's the same with the webcam. I don't know. You know, you have like you're the chatter, then you're the owner, and then you own the chatting website, right? This is like the big boss level. It was the same. So I was the freelancer, but it was like I had these clients, but it was like I had 3 bosses, for example, you know. So I knew the next step was I needed to become the boss, let's say, like run my own stores and all this. And that was the first big breakthrough. So I met this Indian guy. He's like a fucking killer marketer.
But how this is important because you said like you had this friend in UK, now this Indian guy.
Yeah.
We have the common friend like Sava.
Yeah.
Like how did you meet these guys? What are your what's your networking funnel to meet guys?
So in terms of networking, there's 2 things you can do. And first is you become really good, you make a lot of money, people will gravitate towards you. I think that's the most important one. Because if you're broke, man, don't do networking. Nobody wants to hear about you, and you know you're not gonna network with other broke people, right? And the second one, which I think you could do as a broke person, is you pay for it. You join communities. You pay for mentorship, all this. I think it's a really good way. There's a lot of, you know, I'm not associated with any right now, but if you have 2K to spend, you have 5K to spend, you should definitely spend it because I think it's the highest ROI. Again, the reason I moved to Estonia was to be in a different network, right? I paid to be in the community where there's all these guys with like high-tech companies with funding. You should also pay. This is one way. This is a good investment. Instead of buying a Rolex or Louis Vuitton, you should invest in this. This is what I think. But yeah, those 2 ways. Sava, I think I met because he found me. I had like I was posting some value here and there. He reached out, I think. This guy, same with this guy, I got connected to him, and because I was always learning. And I think this is actually an important mentality. When you meet someone that's richer than you, more advanced, you need to listen to him, you know, like you don't talk, you have no opinion, you know, like
don't
a
be
robot.
Arrogant.
Exactly. You know, the best clip I found of this was, you know, Pop Smoke?
Yeah.
It was like 50 Cent, he was talking about Pop Smoke, like, you know, when Pop Smoke was with 50, he was asking me a lot of questions. He was on his phone, and 50 Cent was like, "Man, what's this kid doing? He's like on his phone when I'm talking."
He was
writing notes. I hear this. It was like it's so true. When you meet someone that's on a next level than you, you need to listen to him. Every word, even if you think it's bullshit, you need to do it. So he was telling me to do this. He was telling me, "Oh, you have to sell ebooks to women." So, who would buy this? You know, in my mind, it was like it didn't make sense to me. But I was like, okay. I would try. I tried and I started making money.
So because we talked about this last time we saw each other, it's a different way of like selling info products. Not the way, like, for example, I'm doing it with like my face there. It's like a faceless way.
Exactly.
Like, can you talk more about this business? I don't know nothing.
I mean, this is like the very, very old school way. It goes back to the days of mail order, if you know. Like you send a piece of envelope to the mail and people will send you a check back. It goes back all the way to this. But the new, let's say, evolved version of this, then it became infomercials, and then now it is what it is with ads and all these e-commerce stores. So it's very similar to e-commerce, but instead of e-commerce, you sell like an ebook, like an informational product.
We have to make this distinction because, let's say, from this business is different than the like what I do for my business. With this is like I show my face, I rely more on like organic content.
Yes.
This business relies 100% on ads, right?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So you rely on, for example, status, being known, building that trust, right?
Yeah.
But basically, if you want to shortcut that, you need to go hard on consumer psychology. You know, like selling via long form sales letters, whatever, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 pages letters, and I thought nobody would buy this. But this guy, this Indian guy, he made 30 million. So it's like, okay, I'll listen to him. He told me to do this, I would do it.
So you were selling basically the first good product in this business was like a woman's dating
woman's
guide?
dating product. So it was about what was it? It was about how to text your man back. And basically, this Indian guy, he found that he was studying like 50 Shades of Grey. I have a copy of 50 Shades of Grey at my home, and I read through it to see like the psychology of how these women think. And he used this psychology to basically write a product and sell books to how to get a man like this, the guy in the book, you know? It's like a
Like
archetype.
that archetype of-
Exactly. It's like an archetype because this is like the ideal archetype. And he also found out that women over 35 have one very specific problem, and that is they cannot get a man to commit. You
Husband,
know?
stuff like
Exactly. They want commitment.
Yeah.
You know, and back then, a lot of guys or something, they were trying to sell how to get more guys. This is not the problem that women have.
It's different
Yes,
between women.
exactly. Because women, they get so many guys, like in the DMs, all this. Like
They
even
had
back then.
options, but they don't find a man to commit.
Exactly. No, they have options, and they have one guy they want, that the player, the rich player, whatever, that left them, you know. And they want this. So this was the very specific problem that he found, and he made 30 million off just this, selling ebooks around this, texting, everything around it, you know, video courses. And he taught me how to do it. I did it. The first month I made 5K profit. Next month I made 10. And it slowly went up like this to 20 and etc.
But how did you like it from a technical perspective? How does this thing work? So like, what do you need? What skill you need? So basically, you need a good funnel, good website.
Yes.
That like you need to learn copywriting.
Yeah.
This is a skill you have, like copywriting.
Yeah.
You would say you have.
This is the most important skill. And again, this comes back to selling, bro. Instead of selling one-to-one, this is how he explained it to me. And this is how all the, let's say, old school like copywriters, David Ogilvy, maybe you know these names.
No, I wanted to ask you, maybe you can recommend some, like what resources helped you? Like, bro, I was listening to this YouTube channel, or what books did you read to learn about this?
To be honest, I was just listening to The Mentor. I wasn't too focused on books, this, that, because it's too much noise, you know. I think it's better to listen to one person, especially if it's like a guy that made money and he tells you to do things. I was just executing like a robot, you know, no opinions, nothing. But he was sometimes recommending me stuff like, one name that he was a fan of was Eugene Schwartz. So there's one book out there called Breakthrough Advertising, Eugene Schwartz. And basically he was also talking about this, about copywriting is basically sales. But instead of one-on-one sales, you sell one-to-many, you know? So it's like you put the conversation you would have with, let's say me with a woman that's 35, I would have a conversation with her in a bar. Let's say I would want to try to sell her the book. That conversation, you put it in the text format, video format, and you run ads to it. So this is exactly what it is.
So basically, first you had like to make like breakdown. First you had the skill of selling on the phone. Then you had to learn the skill of writing, basically sales letters, like emails probably, right?
Exactly, yeah, sales letter, emails, ads, whatever.
And then I think you learn ads, because this is another skill, like Facebook ads or like Google ads, what do you do?
Yeah, I like Facebook, but I know how to do YouTube, I know how to do native ads like Taboola. So I know all of them, but
how
I like Facebook.
How you learn to, like, for example, because me, I never did for this business, for the info product business, never did ads, only did like organic content. How you learn to do it, like by wasting a lot of money on bullshit?
Yeah,
like
just wasting a lot of money.
Testing, stuff like this.
I mean, I always like taking, I'm not afraid of taking the risk, you know, and in my head, I knew that I had a good chance of making money. Like the way I always explain it is, let's say we flip a coin, you know, for every heads you get $1.20, and I get $1. How many times you want to flip it? You know, if you
Yeah.
get $1.20 and I get $1,
Yeah.
of course you want to flip it as many times as possible
Yeah.
because you have 20% edge or 20% edge.
Yeah.
This is how I calculated it. So in my head, I was like, okay, if I am very, very shit, I spend $100, I fucking suck, I lose the whole $100. If I'm okay, maybe I make zero, nothing. So I spend 100, I get 100.
Yeah.
If I'm a bit okay, I maybe have 20% edge. So I make $20.
Yeah.
But if I'm really good, I make $100.
Yeah.
So this was my mentality. And I would just spend like small amounts, like $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. And with the mentor that I had, in 3 tries, I was making money. So yes.
So did you also like, did you rely on this mentor for this business, or you also like was, I don't know, spending on courses on this topic and things like this?
Not too many courses, to be honest. I like coaching a lot
Yeah.
more. Like sometimes I would buy. I never bought that many courses. I think I spend a lot of money on coaching, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
more than 50 G's, maybe even 100 G's by now.
Yeah,
Like
I think
a
it's
lot.
also
Yeah.
important. Like some people, there's people, for example, who they follow content online, and I liked one thing you said. You said like, bro, just get a mentor and follow what he says, because what some people do, what I notice is they listen to 10 people who have contrasting views. So let's say there's people listening to Patrick Bet David and Tate says no, read no book, and Patrick Bet David says no, you have to read
Yeah.
every day, and Ty Lopez says you have to read, another guy says you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have,
exactly.
and it's too much confusion in your head. And you listen to all this free content instead of like, okay, you like this guy, get into his group or get his mentorship and just follow his way
Yeah.
of doing it, because you know exactly what you have to do. You're not like distracted and all this
Yeah.
bullshit. And also people are too arrogant and they think they're too clever, and what they do is just find some free course, or like they leaked course from the internet, and they think, yeah, I'm clever, I don't pay
Yeah.
money. But a person like you're like, yeah, just spend 50 G's on, because I
Exactly.
made millions.
Yeah, and it also depends on your style. You know, for example, your style, it would not fit me. You know, you make good money, you do this coaching, you get people results, all this. You like teaching people.
Yeah.
You know, and you get them results. I could not do this. This is not my style of
Yeah.
business. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You do all this crazy shit on social media and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So there's a lot of ways to make money. You just have to find who fits your personality, who you like to listen to.
Exactly. It's
and then you
like
pay
it's
them.
like we were talking before about how the lifestyle you have. And Z was telling me like, yeah, bro, I wouldn't like I cannot work with people in the same room as me. Don't like living with other people. I just want to lock in there.
Yeah.
And me, I'm the type of person, I don't mind having people in the house, having some girl there looking like watching TV, some friend, blah blah blah. So you have to. I think the smartest thing you can do is like know yourself first,
Exactly.
or if you don't know yourself, just test multiple lifestyles. For example, me, I tested living by myself, and I didn't like certain things. For example, didn't like, I don't know, going to the gym alone, doing certain stuff alone. I'm not the type, like being a lone wolf doesn't work for me. I have low vibration, but for you is working. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like it.
exactly. I tested this like living with some guys, doing business together, living with a girlfriend. It didn't work for me, you know.
Yeah.
I prefer to do my work and at night or whatever in the weekend we can hang out, because
Yeah.
if there's people around, I can't focus on my
Yeah,
stuff.
you know, we were talking last time about like this stuff with the girlfriend. Yeah, I think especially with most girls nowadays, is a big distraction if you have a girl in your house.
Yeah.
It cannot work the same. It's a little bit, also it's like a little bit cringe. Like for me, when I meet a new girl, I wait until, I don't know, we're together for a longer period until I start working there, because I feel like this.
You have to entertain them, you know?
Yeah, she wants to be there for entertainment,
I
and
know,
I have
I know
to sell my
exactly what you
soul,
mean,
to
yes.
just watch a movie,
Exactly.
go out, blah blah blah, and like after a long period, maybe you can focus and the girl can sit by herself and like
Yeah.
just watch a podcast in her room.
Exactly,
This is the
exactly.
problem, yeah.
I agree
And
with you.
also, I think I was actually listening to, I think Fresh and Fit were saying this, like women are like consumers, don't care about evolving in life, they don't get pleasure from this. If you have a woman in your house, she will definitely like distract you more, like, yeah, let's watch this movie, sitting in the bed, and you are just, you have to work, you have to do all this shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think it depends on, again, what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Also the type of woman, of course, you know, like if she's the type of girl that I've had girlfriends that were really supportive of my business. This helped me a lot actually. So I always say, you know, when I was broke, I had a girl that I was dating, and she would like every night she would. I had no money. I was doing nothing.
Yeah.
She didn't care about going out and all this. She would come every night. She would make me food, bro.
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think about this idea? Because some people say like, bro, until you have money, just disregard girls, blah blah. But me, I always say like, no, when you don't have money, you need one girlfriend to do sit there jerking off. But don't try to be a playboy when you're broke because you will fail anyway.
Yeah. So
what's your view on this?
I mean, it depends on where you are. Again, I think in Estonia, for me, I didn't have trouble getting girls, right? So I don't know how it is here as a broke guy in Bucharest, to be honest. So when I grew up, like in school, I was never like a popular kid with women. So for me, I had to know for myself if I could get girls before I had money. Like this was a goal of mine. Like, and I got girls without money. I think it's important if you're young and if you're a guy to be able to get women without the money, because you need to know this. Man, I meet like rich guys, especially fucking Asian guys, and I hate this shit, man. Like when I see like other Asian guys, they get money and they do the fucking cringy shit. One time I was with this Asian guy, he pulled out his like fucking sales and he was showing the girl like how much money he was making. Bro, I was like, man, what are you doing, man? You know, like it pissed me off. So yeah, you need to be able to get a woman before you get money, so that you know just for yourself, you know. And this is what I did. But yeah, don't spend your time chasing like ass, you know, when you have no money. Just date a few girls here and there, and that's good.
Yeah, like
good,
I was because I had like years in my life when I was just going out non-stop, and I remember like lots of times I was with my friends in some restaurant and I see a couple next to me, and the guy is always like, yeah, I made this much money, bragging, all this bullshit.
I think girls don't care about this shit.
Yeah, and also I like a more like subtle brag. Like,
exactly.
If you pick the girl up in a nice car, you have a nice watch.
Exactly. You tip well, you know, all this shit.
All this stuff, it's basically she understands your level, you know?
Pretty much.
I don't know, you have these things, you don't have to
say it.
Yeah, too direct. It's bullshit.
It's very cringe. And
you know?
Girls pick up on that shit, you know, they can smell it. It's
and I think they're not interested. It's not like men, because we as men, when we talk more about like technical stuff. Exactly. Okay, I spent this much on these ads and I made this much, but these girls like don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Well, you tell most girls, you tell them you make 10K per month or 100K per month. To them, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't really understand like the amount of difference. Like you were talking about Fresh and Fit. I watched like one podcast about them. All the girls were saying like, yeah, I want a man making like 6 figures, 7 figures.
They throw these bullshit numbers.
They don't know what it is, you know. Like they don't understand how much things like cost, because it's all free for them, you know.
Yeah, they don't understand, because for them it's like if they have all they need, they don't care about like the problems.
But yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. Again, you know, like as long as you can bring the fun, you have fun, it's fine, right? So that's my opinion on.
But what's the routine of a guy like you making 10 million per year, 12 million per year? Like because people always ask this, like, what's your routine, bro? Like I will talk about my routine, but I want to ask you, what's your like daily routine, let's say?
For me now, it's less about the hustle and the grind and more about having good ideas, you know, because before I was like hustling and grinding, pushing sales letter, pushing ads every day, new ads, new sales letters, this, that, to make like an extra 5K, 10K, this, that, because I needed it. I needed the volume. Even with sales, like it was a lot of coca, a lot of volume. But now it's different, because the same amount of effort to write, let's say, for one market is the same amount of effort I would make like 5K to a million. You know, it's the same amount of effort. Yeah. If I make a promotion that would make 10 million and a promotion that makes 10K.
So let me understand, like basically you want to be in the mental space where you feel super inspired to find that idea that like crazy idea and makes you crazy.
And I try a lot of shit to do that, you know. Like this year I experimented a lot like with travel, like traveling like to crazy places, going, shooting guns, camping, all this to, I don't know,
feel like more creative.
Yeah, exactly, to just get like some ideas, inspiration. I was like looking at what other people are doing, like Ernest Hemingway, he's like a famous writer.
Yeah, writer,
like what they're doing, I will copy them, maybe see what their routine is. They would lock themselves up in like a nice hotel room for 1 week
Yeah,
to
I
see if
heard
they,
this. You ever
yeah.
try this?
Yeah. So I tried this year to see like, okay, I rent a suite 7 days, boom, everything, hotel service, room service,
Yeah.
to get like good ideas, because this is now more important for me than just like the robot work, you know, like
Yeah.
one good idea will pay me like 5 million, you know, like this year, like from the 12 million,
Yeah.
7 million came from one
So how you
promotion.
found that idea? I know you don't want to go specific,
Yeah.
but basically, so people to understand, like basically you're running like you're writing the copy for some products, basically, and you're running ads for like multiple products. And then
Exactly.
this product, specific product, made you 7 million.
Exactly. You never know what will pop off, but that's why it's important
It's
to
like a
really,
writer. I think
yeah.
now it's like similar to some rapper writing a song.
Yeah.
They don't know this is the hit
Yeah.
or not.
You need to pick your shots well, you know, and you need to look at the market trends. This is very important. So there's multiple ways to look at trends. Actually, we talked about this. Like for example, one thing you can do is you can look at USA. What is USA doing? You can copy it for Romania. Yeah. I was looking at like Russia. So I was in Georgia and I was meeting these guys. They were making some money with casinos and stuff like that, and they were also talking about other offers. They were showing me some stuff that other people were doing in Russia, advertisers, right?
Yeah.
And I was inspired. I was like, damn, you know, nobody's doing this in the USA market, for example. And this was the inspiration for one of the offers that I
Yeah.
did. So this is one way I found inspiration, you know, just traveling, networking. Again, because for the networking, I paid to get in. You know, it was like an event for a casino event. A lot.
Yeah,
I'm not
said
in the
this,
casino
last
business.
time we talked,
Yeah.
you were talking about some events.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
I'm
like events for advertisers or what?
Exactly.
Events?
Yeah, I'm not in the casino business, but it was like 1K for the ticket for 2 days. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, you know, okay, I'm here. I'll pay 1K. I
Yeah.
go at 2 days. I met some people.
Yeah,
I go
look,
one good conversation.
The thing is, the thing is, the pattern here is people are scared of like getting scammed. They think everything is a scam, blah blah blah, and they think like they don't wanna shoot enough shots. And my advice is like, yeah, maybe you buy some course and for you is bullshit. You realize it's bullshit. But you have to do it until you find something that like works. Or like go events, meet people, pay to play. Basically.
Exactly. It's true. You know, that's why they say the rich get richer, right? Because they spend more money. But what else are you going to spend money on?
Yeah.
Oh, the watch is nice and stuff like that, but you can get this whenever you want, to be honest. The watch is not going away. But for me, the time is more important, right? The knowledge, especially in the business that I am in, it's like the information that you get, it is gold. If you are ahead of a trend, if you can spot a trend before it blows up, you can make a lot of fucking money. So yeah, there's like things that I'm looking at, trends that I'm looking at right now. And I think if I execute on them correctly before anyone else, I will make the most money because I'm the first. It's the same with like everything, like Tai Lopez, for example. You mentioned him. He made a lot of money in 2016, right, with his course, because he was the first to. He wasn't the first to do these type of courses. There were a lot of like, let's say, gurus before that, but he was the first to do it as he did in social media with the Lambo, running ads, all this. So he was the first to do this guru thing, and he made a lot of money, you know.
So basically, you spend your time like networking, so you find like people. Because I think this is like, I saw somebody call this like the law of proximity. Like if you're close to people making money and like people from the same domain as you, it's inevitable you make money.
Exactly.
I was telling people like it's the same with everything. Like if let's say you have a friend who's doing like, he has a OnlyFans agency, is making 100K. Even if that guy is has bad intentions, doesn't want to help you, you still make 10K per month with the bullshit he talks all the time.
100%.
With some even if he's a bad person, his talk doesn't want to help you.
Yeah, but because people like to talk about the business, you know, it's true. And again, but this is where a lot of people make mistakes, because I see most people, they don't let the big guy talk. They start talking themselves. But no, you need to shut up and start taking notes and learn from these guys, right? But yeah, exactly. Proximity is most important. So to go back to the routine, after I find the idea, I work super hard. So I lock myself in. I write the whole promotion. I do this, and I just I lock in. I don't do no travel, no nothing. I stay, you know, in my home, and I
But
make
I have
the
a question for
promotion
you.
at
Like,
scale.
yeah, but how can you? Because people have this problem. You know, we talked before. I think we talked about this. Like, the way you handle success.
Yeah.
Like, how can you handle success? Like, how like you make money.
Yeah.
Why don't you just like, yeah, just wanna travel, fuck whores, get high, don't give a fuck? Like,
Yeah.
how can you make yourself be calm and collected and like,
Bro, I had this problem, to be honest. You know, when I said when I made my first 15 G's,
yeah,
bro, I felt so shit after this, you know, because for me, like, I was so broke, you know, and my parents kicked me out of my house, all this
Yeah.
shit, you know, like in school, I didn't have money to buy lunch, so I would always like get food from my friends. It was embarrassing shit. Always wearing the same clothes, all this.
yeah,
So for me, when I first met, it was always money, money, money on my mind, and I thought when I had the money, something would change. There would be like, I don't know. I thought I would feel different, but
Yeah.
I felt nothing. It was the same. The check hit. I felt good for like 1 hour, and then I
Yeah.
crashed. So I had like these deep depressive states. I started going a lot, drinking a lot. You know, fucking like bad woman in general, and you know, just doing this shit. So it happened to me. I know it happened to a lot of people. I think it's just you have to go through it. You
yeah.
know?
And I also
But
think
yeah.
what separates people who make money from the people who just make a small amount and then they're stupid is, I think a guy like you enjoy the hustle and the work
Yeah.
more than you enjoy the social life, for
Yeah,
example.
in the end, I did. So after this, let's say, the depressive phase, I was like, man, I'm not doing shit. So what do I really want to do? I started getting bored, and then I really started enjoying the game for it is. You
Yeah.
know, like the risk taking, um, climbing the ladder, all this, making the money, the number, the journey, the adventure. You know, really started enjoying the adventure, and for me, it was always then the adventure. That's when I realized, okay, the money is nice. It's a big motivation. It still is a big motivation, but now it's like, I'd say 30% money, 30% freedom, and 40% fun and adventure in the game itself. You know.
How do you like? There's people talking about like. I was listening to this video with Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
He was saying like he has this working like he said like 20 minutes. You have 5-minute breaks. Like you have this little things or
it's bullshit. I
I think
think.
it's bullshit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or are you fasting or how do you approach like this diet, all this bullshit?
I just honestly I eat once a day usually, because it's just easier.
Yeah.
You know. So I wake up, I drink coffee, I start working. No
Yeah.
morning routine, no nothing, bro. You make money by sitting behind your laptop. In my
Yeah.
business, you don't make
Definitely.
money doing fucking sauna, meditation, all this.
Yeah.
This is where for me what works the best is, you know, I have like this addictive personality, like obsessive behavior, right? So if I work, I only do work. If I go out, I only go out. If I, you know, like to travel or like do this.
Yeah.
So this is how I do it. So if I'm in the period of where I'm really like working, I work. So no 5 minutes, this, that. I will just work. I will sit there. I will do boom, 6 hours, 8 hours, and then I'm
But
done. I'm done.
I have a question. Now, at the
Yeah.
level you're at, how do you see this thing with like mentors? Because some people they have mentors when they're broke, and then they think they're super smart. They know. Like, do you have mentors make more money than you that you have access to, or how do you handle this right now?
Yeah. So now it's different. I don't really pay for mentors anymore because the mentors that are on a different level, they don't really sell this anymore. You know. So it really is via connections and networks and events. Like that's the biggest one, to be honest. Like recently I went to Mexico.
To an event?
Yeah. It was an event with people that were making 250K plus. You had to make 250K
So
plus.
how did you demonstrate it? Make like you showed them the balances or stuff?
Oh no, it was from the company that I work with.
Oh, okay.
So they see the numbers.
Oh, okay.
And half the people there, they were making more than 5 million. So I went there were a lot of people making a lot of money for a long time. So of course, you know, as always, I'm just there with an open mind. I don't talk. I ask a lot of questions, and I learn from them, you know. And of course, it's funny because with this you have to be careful, because even with mentors, people ahead of you, you need to show like certain humble, but you also have to be, because they're still sharks, right? They see you, oh, you're like a young up and comer. you're starting to make money. They're also making money, but they also want to see, shit, what can I get, you know?
Yeah.
So so it's give and take. So of course you also have to give them things back, like good info, maybe help them make some money here and there, you know, send them customers, like give something before you ask something in
Yeah, I
return.
was talking about this. I was thinking about this. Like, people have this misconception that the only haters or the only people who have resentment on you are the losers and the bottom. But actually, you have you can have haters from every echelon, because the bottom, of course, hates you. You have money, they're peasants.
Yeah.
Then the people at your level, they're friends. It's like this competition. Oh, this guy made more money this month. Fuck. And then there's also these sharks, like you said, who are super egotistical and then don't want this idea that, oh, this loser, this kid will make more money than me. They want to keep you down.
No, there's a lot of that, to be honest. There's a lot of shark old guys like that, man. That is the same. Like I told you, the book with Pimp. I know it's been a long time you read it, but this guy, he was a pimp and the main character, Iceberg Slim, he was learning from this mentor pimp, making a lot of money, all this. And at one point, the mentor, he's known for being a shark, right? Like taking all the money from the guy if the other guy's in trouble. And he knew at one point, he was like, oh, you know, you're going to jail, don't worry, let me handle your bank accounts and this. He knew at that moment, fuck, he's trying to fuck me over because he's ahead, he saw I was overtaking.
Saw potential,
Exactly, so there's also a lot of that. It's a bit weird, like mentor-student relationship. You know, there was this thing about never surpass your mentors and all this. And
law one.
But I mean, come on, bro, it's going to happen. You know, I'm ambitious. I want to see where I go. So, of course, you know, there's like this kind of weird battle. But as long as, you know, you're respectful, you're humble, people, they want to talk.
Yeah, I think this rule is more about, let's say, if somebody teaches me, and even if I make more money than him, when we're in the same room, I show that respect and I don't try to be the clever guy in the room. And you see this pattern all the time is like, although 50 Cent become an established artist, he respects Eminem, or you see this in multiple areas. You have to show that respect. You cannot just be crazy. But yeah, you can surpass the mentors you have. For sure.
Yeah, I surpassed the mentor that I had with that did the women's dating, you know. So to be honest, like and I had a really good relationship with him, but when I surpassed him, it was dead pretty much.
But for example, how do you what's the mindset in your opinion? Let's say you make a comfortable amount, let's say 20, 30K. You get that milestone. And because if you make 20, 30K, you can afford the good rent, you can do lots of stuff. Let's say, especially if you started from being a broke guy, you know, peasant guy, blah blah. So what motivates you to like say, bro, this is bullshit. I don't want. I'm a brokey. I want to do more. Like, how did you motivate yourself? Like, what did you go through to motivate?
It was like the peers, man. Like I was talking to people. I remember I was making 60K per month, right, with this the next business after women's dating. I started selling to the same market, but a different product. I was selling astrology. So like readings, like love readings, all this, like Aquarius, Taurus. Man, you know, this was another way I had ideas. I was seeing all this shit go viral. Like girls were asking me about my star sign and shit. I was like, man, they really believe this. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll sell it. So I started selling this. I made 60K in my first month with the astrology. And I went to like an event. Again, this was an event in Barcelona, and I was talking to some guys. They were from Miami. They were doing like a paper call. Do you know what this is?
No.
It's like in America, basically people, they have like different offers, like debt relief, insurance. They pay a lot of money for this. In Europe, we don't have this, right? But there is huge. It's a huge market. So basically, they would have these insurance agents calling and selling this stuff. So if you send people calls, you get paid. So let's say you send someone like an American to do a call to get insurance, you get $60. They were making 300K a day. Bro, I could not believe my ears when I heard this. It was like, man, you make But I thought I was a hot shot. I was like, I make 60K per month. And you know, they were like, oh yeah, cool, man, this is good. You know, I asked them, oh, how much do you make per month? Man, back then I had a big ego, you know. So we make like, oh, today we did 300K. bro, I was
Yeah,
like,
so it's still a matter of
fucking
networking
crazy,
and
yeah.
like, because I came to this conclusion that life is like super, like a game of comparisons.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
need, even like everything is, if we see all this bullshit online, but it doesn't feel real. When you
Exactly.
see all these millionaires or people
Yeah.
with bitches, blah blah, until you have a friend that does it,
Until
or
you see
you
it,
see
yeah.
it with your own eyes.
Wow.
It's super important. Like even Ty Lopez was talking about this. He was saying like he had this guy interview him, and Ty Lopez was saying like, bro, in LA I'm like 8 out of 10 of fame.
Yeah.
But this guy didn't understood what this means until he came to LA and like he saw people talking about Ty Lopez. Went with Ty Lopez on the street, people were seeing him like, yeah, it's Ty Lopez here, you know? Like you have to see it with your own eyes and then it becomes real.
Exactly. I
Like
agree.
even for me in Bucharest, when I was hanging out with Tate in the beginning, and I was seeing people recognizing him, seeing his power in the clubs and stuff like this. Didn't understand what it means
Yeah, yeah.
from the internet, hearing about people. But you
Yeah.
see people like just spending 10K but making on their phone 20K in the same night. Stuff
Exactly.
like this.
Yeah. You.
Yeah, so I was saying that when you see people doing stuff in real life, it becomes real because we're bombarded on internet. Like even it's crazy. Like even cars. Like when you see some nice, like I don't know, Maybach or Mercedes, you see a car, but when you're inside, it's like, bro,
different,
it's
yeah.
nice, lights, blah blah, or a Lambo, how it feels to be inside of it, or I don't know. Even I remember when I was hanging out with Tate, like I was seeing guys down Pizzeria on the internet, bitches, blah blah. But when I saw Tate with like in the club, 2 guys and 3 guys with me and like 20 girls.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, bro, it's crazy.
Exactly.
How these guys are, and I was thinking, how these guys handle. And what I did was like, it was crazy. Like after like the first times I went in the club with them and I see them with all these girls, I had this New Year's Eve party and I invited, like I put it on my story and I invited every girl I knew. And I had all this anxiety. I was thinking like, how would I handle it? We're only a few guys, how we talk to every girl, all these things. But I put myself in that situation because we're like, yeah, these guys are doing it, I saw it, have to do it. Because it seems fun. So yeah, it also gives you perspective about, when you hang out with guys who are more successful than you, it gives you perspective about what's possible. I
Exactly,
think.
yeah.
Like when I was, the same when I was hanging out with Tate, I didn't understand, like I thought to myself, I'm good with girls, for example, and had a good main chick back then that was doing everything for me. But what shocked me with them was, I give this example, like we were in the club and Tristan came with some other girl, and then I saw his girlfriend come, his main chick, and I was thinking like, bro, this girl will start a fight, but she didn't start the fight. She started like giving drinks with the other girl, kissing together, nothing was happening, like crazy stuff like this. I didn't think it's possible, and then I tried to emulate it. Because if somebody tells you, you think it's cap most of the time.
Of course.
You think,
Especially if you
you're
hear it online.
exaggerating.
Yeah.
You know? Or you see, I don't know, even like these guys you see on the internet, like they're approaching girls on the street. Like when you see it, it's like, yeah, are they paid actresses? You have all these doubts. But if you have a friend who actually has game,
Yeah. This is how it happened for me actually. I went out with a dude. We went to Budapest.
Yeah.
We traveled there, and I saw him how he talked to girls in the club. This, that. I was like, man, he's making. I didn't know this was possible. Like he was hooking up with girls like every night. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I started doing what he does, and that's how I learned.
Yeah, I think this is important. Like I think this helped you, and this helped me a lot in life. It's instead of like trying by yourself everything from zero, because it will take you a longer time to be stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you see it at other people and you try to apply it, and then maybe you ask those people some questions here and there, it's way easier.
Exactly, man. I have a friend. He doesn't live far from here actually. He bought a golden Lambo with pure cash. It was like, I don't know, 500 G's maybe. I don't know how much a Lambo is, but he's in the same business as me. I wasn't making as much as him when I arrived in Bucharest, but he was telling me, yeah, I'm spending like 10K a day on ads. I was spending like 500, maybe 1,000, 2,000. It was like 10K a day. Whoa, it's crazy. Yeah. So just him doing this and making the switch allowed me, it broke my worldview. You know, it gave me permission to also try and go that far. You know, it was same with the guys in Barcelona, same with the guys in Mexico. I'm hearing man, these guys are making 300K a day. These guys are making millions.
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
This, that.
To have
You
people
know?
like do stuff like this helped me the same thing when I blew up on social media in Romania. I showed you before. My first video in Romania has 140K view and had like 100K in 2 days.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
video ever filmed with iPhone didn't know about sound, didn't know about nothing. But the reason was like the guy that taught me was an influencer in Romania who like
yeah.
10 times more views than me. So because I was friends with this guy put me in contact with like rappers, with like people in this game, blah blah blah, and he told me things. So then I blew up on TikTok. I had on TikTok like 300 million views.
Yeah.
You know, now you cannot, if you search for the hashtag, you cannot see the views. They took this off, but before you could see the views, these crazy views. But basically because I met this guy, and how I met him was in the gym, in an MMA gym. I was going to this gym, you know, I told you about the gym. Yeah, it's basically a more commercial gym, and the guy who owns it is also famous, and lots of influencers go there, you know.
Okay.
So I met this guy just sparring, all this bullshit. I was doing my thing on TikTok, and he saw me, and like we became friends. So this is why it's important, like to network, and I think, like you said, pay to play, like go to events, communities from your niche. And also go to places like he said, like in Estonia with that work.
Yeah.
How is the name?
Co-working, yes,
like
yes.
this, or like my example, like gyms, expensive gyms,
Yeah.
places like this. And I think what helps is like definitely not being timid. Like if you're timid as a person, you will never succeed in the game of making friends.
Exactly. That's why you gotta learn sales. You know, if you're like 18, you have nothing, you live in your mom's basement. It's like you said with your example with the friend, get a job. You know, like go out, like get a sales job.
Yeah.
So that's it.
You know how I learned the first time about sales? Like, because me had this background in like webcam, all this shit, and then I started with like info products, and for me it was super easy with this, even with this info product business. I had success the first time I started.
Yeah, came
Like,
natural.
First day, 20K, like didn't have to struggle, never had like a bullshit product, everything was good. So I never had to do actual sales.
Yeah.
But I learned sales by a guy who was in my first community. My community was called Revenge, and I had this guy, Hassan. And this guy, you know him, he has this personal brand, Mr. Overpay. Now he's big name on Twitter, has like 120K. So this guy came to my house, lived there for like 3 weeks, and he has this background in like door-to-door sales. He was also doing the personal brand. And I was seeing like this guy was sending vocal messages, was calling people. For me, it was like calling people. I was the type of guy, like people were messaging me, yeah, bro, I want to get into your community, or they're just buying from me, you know?
Yeah.
I never did this extra effort,
Yeah.
like vocal messages. And he explained to me, you know? So then seeing him and calling him and like he was explaining some sales stuff, then it became more real than watching a YouTube video about sales.
Exactly.
Because it's also like applied in something you do. Because I think this is what you want to say with books. You read the book about advertising, but it's not exactly applied on what you do. It's advertising maybe in general.
Yeah, man, so many people, again, I think the best way to learn is to put something on the line. You know, you have to gamble something, or else you're not invested in it, you know, and usually the easiest way is money. For example, I told you with the advertising, right? You can either read a book. So many people read books, but are you willing to bet on yourself and put the $100 in the Facebook ad of what you just read and, you know, created? Yeah. Most people, it's no. But if you're willing to do that, you will evolve very fast, you know? So I think exactly everything is pay to play.
Yeah, it's pay to play, and like how you move and how having the not being timid. It's crazy how much you win in life just by talking to people. It's crazy. Like people think like these rich guys are super arrogant and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But if you just go to some guy and like see him in the gym and make yourself likable, but in a good way, not in the way where you're clever and you try to be a geek.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy how much you can obtain. And I think we all had this periods in our life when you see a hot girl, you don't talk to her, all this stuff. But it's crazy when you actually have the balls and you start doing it, then you don't have those regrets like, man, I should have done this, should have done that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's the same with hot girls and rich guys. Like for rich guys, you know, most people, most rich guys, they don't get this like young guy wanting to ask them questions. So they're very open to talk
Yeah.
about it. Same with hot women actually. They get a lot of like DMs and stuff, but
Yeah.
nobody really approaches them in
Yeah,
real
I
life.
never thought about this
yeah.
way, but it's true because if you're rich, people think like, bro, it's like he has these barriers against
Yeah.
him. Will never talk to me.
Yeah.
But you can if you play your cards right.
Exactly, and the thing is, for example, also with the rich guys, most people they really want something, right? They want like a business advice, this that. Man, we had this conversation just now. Like I talked about, the real gold diggers are not women, but they're
Yeah.
guys. Like guys always try to ask you for business, for loans. Man, I had a friend. He asked me for business advice. I gave him business advice. Then he asked me for more, and he asked me like this, that. Can you share this? Can you share that? In the end, he ended up doing nothing, and he ended up asking me for a loan for money.
Yeah.
I was like, this is bullshit. So instead of doing this, what you could do is like try to give something first. Like I said, when I talk now with someone that's more successful than me, someone that's ahead of me, someone that I respect, I try to give value first. Maybe I know something about like some ad that I did that he doesn't know about. Maybe I know about a promotion in his market he doesn't have the info about. I will share that with him without expecting anything in return, and they're happy to share back. So I think there's this two-way street.
Yeah, it's like the art of infiltrating someone's life. And the way you do it, I think, is by seeing what this person lacks. So, for example, I had people I accepted into my life because they were like, bro, I want to do this editing for you for free. Or I want to do, look, this thumbnail you have is bullshit, and I want to do it for free.
It's
The
the best
moment
way.
these guys are stupid and they try and play games like, look, I did one thumbnail, now you have to pay me. Now it's bullshit, it's turn off for me. But if a guy actually helps with my business, he helps me make money, of course he will be my friend. If he makes himself irreplaceable in my whole structure.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree 100%.
But most people don't want to do this, and they want fast win.
Yeah, they want either money from you, or they want like a shortcut or something, or they want you to give the answers to them. And this is never the way.
Yeah, but it's all these people doing like these services, they don't understand like, bro, if you want to get paid, you have to help that person make money, not do some bullshit that doesn't bring when it brings results. Every person rarely met a rich guy who I help him make 100K and he doesn't want to pay me.
This is how I got my sales job. Because I knew, man, I was like fucking 18, I had nothing on my resume. I wasn't going to get through like the standard job application. So it's like, okay, I want the sales job, I will sell myself. So I started picking up the phone, I said, hey man, I will work for you for free. Just let me work 1 month. I will make you money. If I don't make you money, boom, it's okay. I said, man, you're crazy. We've never had an 18-year-old kid do this with us. We'll pay you the salary. You have the job. This is the short version, but that's how it went. I had the balls to say, okay, I don't have money to put skin in the game, but I have my time to give.
Exactly.
So I will put my time for you for free. It doesn't take anything away from you. And man, I ended up getting the job with the money. So.
Yeah, it's true. Like me, for example, all these kids that want to work for me, even like, I don't know, I have people like when I had problems with that, they were closing my Instagram. And I had people like, yeah, it costs you 5K, throwing numbers. And every time I say like, yeah, bring back the Instagram, then I will pay you. Don't just scam me in this whole internet shady world. You're some guys don't know you, And I had this with the Moldovan guy. This Moldovan kid is in high school. Brought my Instagram back, and then I recommended him to everyone. Like even he helped date, he helped other guys, and now this kid is making like 10K a month with all these contacts I give him. But he first provide the result, not just promises.
Yeah, I agree. And also in terms of providing the results, you have to be careful who you do it with, right? Because most people, they think, okay, I need to work for someone for free. Let me call Warren Buffett. Bro, Warren Buffett does not care about you. He does not need you to work for him for free, because it's more headache for him to try and train you than it is to work for free. So you need to look at the one next level, not a millionaire, So for me, the next level was not a millionaire. For me, the next level was 5K per month, a job, And for this was the next level. This is what you need to do.
Or like guys who are not like too big or have big organization. It's like I gave this example on Twitter. This guy, he was basically, he saw that Tate had multiple cars and he didn't have the time to go take every car and wash it. And he was messaged Tate like, bro, I would buy the thing to wash it. I will come to your house and wash it for free. So there was two guys. And one of the guys, Tate even bought Lambo for him. Like because he worked for 4 or 5 years. So this is how he started. He saw, okay, Tate doesn't have a person to clean his cars. He already starts having too many cars. Probably doesn't want to drive every car. I'll just sit there 2 times a week, wash the car. And then this guy was serious, and Tate would say like, yeah, now you can be the war room admin, then we can do this, blah, blah, blah. And he slowly upgraded his position. Now this guy is his own Lambo, makes money, blah, blah, blah. But he found like a gap in a person's like whole setup. That's why we have to see it.
Exactly, man.
Guys, thanks for watching the podcast. Thanks Z for coming.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
To my podcast. See you next time on the channel. Guys, make sure to click the link below and to download my free ebook. It's called Rules of Status. If you download it, you will be automatically added to my email list. Also, subscribe to my Telegram. You have the links below. Thanks for watching the podcast. See you next time.